Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Fishing Teacher, and much appreciate you guys checking today's video out. Today we're going to give you guys some tips and advice on fishing the back of coves, because the back of coves, guys, is probably the #1 type of areas that you can catch fish in. All types of fish, not just bass, but every type of fish in the springtime of the year. So I'm going to take you into the back of a cove here. I'm going to show you what to look for, and let's check it out. Guys, here's a typical cove back end right here, and usually it's characterized by when you get about 2/3 of the way back into a cove, the banks begin to flatten out a little bit, as you can see there. And usually you got some type of cover in the water, like see the laydowns here, the brush piles, this type of stuff, because a lot of times the wind will blow stuff back in here when the water's higher, and then stuff like these logs right here will settle in and just stay in here and provide some good cover. Now, in the springtime of the year, bass and all type of fish use these areas heavily to spawn, because what they do is they'll come off the main lake here. See, there's the main lake, and they'll work their way back into the coves here and eventually set up towards the back part to spawn. Now, the process is in the pre-spawn, a lot of times they'll be out on the point, gradually work their way back in a process we call staging. And then they come back in here and start to look for areas to build their beds in. A lot of times they'll build their nest like around some type of a shallow object like that. And you know, it just depends on the water clarity as far as how deep. Now, the techniques you want to fish in here, the #1 thing is a wacky rig. We've talked about it before on the channel here. Wacky rig is really good. Also, a floating worm is really good in the springtime of the year. And usually what I do is I start about, say, 2/3 of the way back in, and I'll just circle my way all the way to the back and come out. And don't forget to fish in the middle back here too, because sometimes the coves get shallow and the fish sometimes will spawn in the middle of these coves right here. But guys, this is like one of the #1 type of areas in the springtime of year for fishing. So there you go, guys, just a quick video here. Cove back ends, don't pass them up. The downside about cove back ends, guys, is they get a lot of fishing pressure, and they can't handle a lot of fishing pressure. Say, for example, the back end I just showed you here, if you're not like the first one in there, if somebody else beats you in there, a lot of times it's done. So the downside is it's all about timing. The good side is if you get in there when nobody's in there, you can catch a lot of fish usually. But it's just a top prime springtime area, as long as that water temperature stay between like upper 50s to low 70s. It's a really good area. Primarily like April and May is the best month. So hope it helps you guys out. We'll talk later.